Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Builders Call. I am coming to you live today from the Symmetry Lake House. So fortunate and blessed to be able to come out here and spend a couple of days with my kids who are out on spring break. B-dubs, you wouldn't believe what we did yesterday.
Well,
we did rock climbing, we did trampoline parks, we did laser tags, we did 3 different go-karts. We went to an arcade, we had ice cream, and played 18 holes of putt-putt.
That sounds incredible. Good for you. Good dad. I'm happy.
I was exhausted.
I bet you were. I'm coming to you live from your office, just if you didn't notice.
See that.
And
just make yourself at home while I'm out on vacation, buddy. Just whatever, you know.
I'll help
Don't
myself.
let that chief leadership title go to your head over there.
Okay. No, that sounds great, man. Good for you. I'm worse for wear today. I went on a Meredith, she'll trick you on this because she's like, hey, you want to go on a hike with Brandon and I this morning? And they always hike by the house there. So go forth. And Brandon, Meredith and I went on a quote, leisurely hike, whatever the elevation is, it's just automatic, heart rate racing. Colin will be proud of me as I get back on my wagon here for this lazy lean stuff. That was a good workout, but I'm actually feeling the soreness today of having summited with the Ellisons. How's that? It's like
the answer is always no when Brandon asks you if he wants to go hiking.
I know.
Guys built different.
For sure.
Guys, we don't want to take too much time. We are very honored to have one of the most prolific speakers in all of Symmetry. Somebody that if you've not heard from the main stage, you should make sure you're in attendance when he is on the lineup. Mr. Darin Stubbs, known near and far for being one of the better trainers and educators of this business. And he has got some extraordinarily awesome individuals on as his co-guest as well today. So Mr. Stubbs, we don't want to take too much of your time, buddy. We appreciate what you do. We appreciate how you pour into this company. And we are very fired up to see all the growth that happens in the Pac West agency. And looking forward to hearing from you today, buddy.
Thank you. And Brian and Todd, I appreciate the opportunity. And we're very grateful that, you called on us this week. And so batter up, here we go. I got to tell you, Todd, Brian, it was really hard to narrow this down to 3 or 4 people. There are so many worthy people in our agency that are just out there working hard, doing the daily grind, massive accident, constant correction, kind of like Brian, your email. Hey, I know we're inviting all these people, and if you don't get picked, it's not personal. There's so many wonderful people. So we're honored and grateful to be here. And in the theme of what you guys asked us to talk about, the word of the year is, engaging now. And how do we engage? And this is the Builders Call. So we wanted to feature some wonderful people in our agency. They're new agency owners and top producers. And part of what we decided to talk a little bit about was, there's out there building, but if you're not converting people to new writers, to SNAs, to consistent writers, to top producers, and then teaching those people to build. Not a lot of commissions coming in. You might have sent out 29 packets, which that's incredible. I see people doing 29 packets in 1 week. I'm like, wow, that's pretty amazing. But then you convert that to the leaderboard into new writers and so forth and so on. So it's taking a look at those metrics. And so kind of what our theme today is going to be, and we're going to start with the newest agency owner in the Pac West agency. And what was really surprising to me, because Danny talks about this every once in a while, he talks about, Danny Young and Ashley Tarr and Kyle Lisa Cambrell and Tony, the amazing Tony Capistrano, and me and Eric Andre. So from me to Eric Andre, to Steven Jackson, to Chris Leak, to Shannon Turner, to Craig McManaman, 6 agency owners deep in one leg. And that's pretty amazing. And that goes all the way up to Danny with no broken links in between. Every single person that recruited the next person, boom, 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 boom. And actually, all those people are agency directors, and Eric's about to become a rad and go 130 this year. So we're just excited to have Craig on. Craig is, gosh, I don't know where to start with this guy. The first time I went up to Spokane, Coeur d'Alene to do a fall tour, like 65% of the room were Craig's prospects. So Craig, why don't you unmute, introduce yourself, my friend, and kick us off here, brother. Tell us a little about your story and what you're doing and building and growing this amazing agency.
Yeah, thanks, Darin. So I come from a home remodel background. I was a general manager of a granite countertop company the last 13 years before I jumped into this. I learned a lot about scaling, learned a lot about recruiting, learned a lot about finding aces, putting them in their places. And I met Steven Jackson and Shannon Turner on a whitewater rafting trip in 2020. I hung out with them a lot. Everything was closed. It was pandemic summer, so everything was closed. So we went camping, we went boating. I got to know them really well, and I just started picking their brain, asking them what they did, kind of seeing what they were doing, and saw that this is an opportunity for me to get out of what I am doing and build something for my own instead of building someone else's dream. Mm-hmm. And I did, and I drug my feet a bit. I had a it was an okay job. Money was good, but I wanted to find something a little bit better. So I got licensed.
So it's kind of like when you first got signed up, it's not like you took off like a rocket. I mean, we had a few conversations, and Chris and Shannon and I were talking, like, well, Craig, I don't know, is he going to work? Is he going to engage? We'll see, and so I appreciate the fact you tell them a little more detail of that. And then what happened with you? I think it was about a year ago, April last year, and all of a sudden, bam, you just took off like a rocket.
Yeah, I decided to just jump in. I was plugged into the huddle calls, and I saw you and Kyle Kimbrell and you guys and what Chris Leak was doing in 2021 and his massive production and what Shannon was doing and Steven and everyone. And I was like, I got to just do this. I just got to sit my butt in the chair, start dialing my leads and just seeing what this can do. And so I wrote my first application in May of 2022. That was my first cold market off of a lead that I purchased from Symmetry. And then I was like, you know what, I can, I listened to a couple Danny Young calls and decided I'm not going to wait. I'm going to recruit. I started cold market recruiting. I did some warm market stuff, social media and whatnot. I heard Jamie and Sarah's story and what they had done in the last 2-3 years. And I was like, all right, there's opportunity now here. Now it's possible. Now I know what you can do in such a short amount of time. So I had a conversation with Chris Leak in June of 2022, last year, about 9 months ago. He said, what are your goals? I go, I want top of the company. I want to be, at the time it was 120, so now 130. He goes, well, first thing, let's get you to agency owner. You can do that by the end of the year. It's going to take some work. And I did it. My agency did $500 in May of APV in May of last year. And last month we did, we net placed $77,000 last month. So in 9 months, I just put my nose down and listened to you guys, listened to my leaders. I mean, like you said, the Shannon to Chris to Steven, Eric, all the way up. You guys have been instrumental in this and seeing what the other agents and then I brought Sierra on. She's on this call today. I'm super excited to hear from her and watching what Nathan and Melanie have been doing. So really excited, Darin. I love
in your recruiting, you're doing warm market and some Craigslist, a little social media, and a little bit of everything. You just said, hey, I'm all in, put your chips in, and bam, you took off. And you haven't let your foot off the gas.
Yeah, I'm learning more about recruiting. I mean, the social queue and stuff like that. But majority of what I have done, it's probably 80% Craigslist and then just some warm market. To some people that have asked me, what's going on. I talk about it a lot. Kind of everywhere I go, I'm talking about what I'm doing and the success that I'm having. So, I heard Danny Young once say, I recruit anywhere my mouth goes. So I've kind of worked on that and then a little social media, sharing my wins and things like that. People, hey, what are you doing? What's working for you? And then a lot of Craigslist posting and staying really consistent with Craigslist posting. Still learning, LinkedIn and ZipRecruiter and things like that. I'm dabbling in a little bit of that really, but mainly Craigslist is the majority of what I have done to build my agency.
Well, Craig, we're really proud of you, and it hasn't been an easy journey too. I mean, for those of you that don't remember, becoming an agency owner is 4 personal writers, a total of 6 writers, and net place not issue pay. Net place is after you issue pay. Any chargebacks, cancellations, or deaths within the first 12 months. And you got to do that 3 months in a row. And with the next 30 seconds, Craig, you had a little setback there and you had to repeat a month. And that kind of stung a little bit. But what I'm most proud of you is you just took it like a BB bouncing off the Superman. All right, fine, I'll just repeat a month. So we had it, and then the snapshot came in, and then a phantom chargeback snuck in there and dropped you below the minimum requirement. And you know what, dude, you never even blinked. You just said, okay, fine, I'll repeat a month, no worries. And you made it by the end of the year, and we couldn't be more proud of you, Craig. Well done, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm just jacked for what's next. Just keep going, keep
Right
going.
on. Well, Craig, I appreciate your leadership and your skill, and again, going with our theme of building, recruiting, then creating producers who then create producers. Next up, Mr. Nathan McLeod. As Frank Brennan says, McLeod. And we have a little contest going on, a little shots fired with our friend Bo Hirschfield across line from us. But Nathan, kind of tell us a little about your story.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, if the floor is open to me, I just kind of want to share about myself a little bit. I've just become a top producer. I'm going for elite producer, and I'm starting my agency owner run. I started in May of last year. And I was contemplating on what to share here on this call, Darin, and I think there's a couple of key concepts that are super, super important when it comes to growing and building and making something really awesome here. And that's having a really solid foundation.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible talks about having a foundation on the rock and not a foundation on the sand. So when the wind comes, then your house stands. And I just want to proclaim to everybody here on this call, to you, Darin, to everybody, that I have a relationship with the Lord Jesus. He is my best friend. And that is the cornerstone of who I am as an individual, who I am as a father and as a husband. And when you talk about how do you have quick success or any success here at Symmetry, I mean, my secret is I just do my best to model my life and my business after Jesus. And there's two huge things that Jesus is really good at. One is having crazy faith. It's easy when I guess you're the Lord of the universe, but having crazy faith. And then two is he served people relentlessly. So what I have to constantly teach myself over and over and over and over again is, oh, I have a chargeback. Oh no. Or, oh, I have to buy leads. And I feel like I bought a lot of leads. It's like, let's start with crazy faith. Crazy faith. This company is awesome. And what you can accomplish here is really, really awesome. And I can either have faith in that, or I can choose to not have faith in that. I am going to choose one or the other. And I have to keep reminding myself, I'm going to have a bunch of faith. And then two is serving people. I mean, when I get leads, those are human people who need coverage. And I can choose to serve them, or I can choose to not serve them. And so when I feel tired in the afternoon and I've made 50 calls that day or whatever, and I got 50 more to make, it's like, am I going to be relentless to serve these people, or am I going to serve myself and go watch some Netflix? Am I going to serve myself and just get off the horn and maybe lay down and take a nap or something like that? I just don't think Jesus would do that. And I do that way more than I should. But man, having faith and just serving people, that's what it takes, man.
Nathan, I really appreciate you sharing your heart there, because what does that sound a lot like? What are those core values? Core value number one, relationships matter. People come first. Core value number two, and you use the word relentless pursuit of personal growth, acting like an owner and serving people. And so as you've been out there, you've been putting up some pretty big numbers. Just kind of tell us a little bit about, because we have only a couple more minutes for you, and we got to move through here to Sierra and Melanie, and then wrap this up. But tell us what about your numbers and your recruiting and kind of issue paid numbers you've been putting up and writing each week. And got about a minute here for you.
Sure. I have a wonderful nemesis who I love, Bo Hirschfield. I'm trying to beat his numbers. He's a #1 Kimbrell agent. We're really close on our competition. Both of him and I combine, and maybe throw in Sierra there, we're doing about what Ashley Richards is doing. So if that gives you an idea, small peons, but I think we're both around 85, 90,000 since the beginning of the year. So that's where I'm at. And man, it is just small seeds right now. Like what we're going to see in the next year out of my team Sierra and everybody else here. It's going to redefine the industry. I'm really excited for it.
Wow, wonderful, brother. We're proud of you, Nathan. Looking forward to seeing you and well, actually Craig and the Asheville trip coming up, and appreciate you taking a minute to share. And let's go with one of the newest writers in our agency who is just killing it. And for our master agency, she would set a record for the largest slingshot and s'more bonus. But I won't steal her thunder yet. So Sierra, introduce yourself, tell us where you're from. And as I recall, I think you quit your job December the 16th and January was your first. Am I right on those dates?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I was working at a construction company, and there was just, the environment was really vulgar. And, you know, like Nathan, I'm also a believer, and it just kind of got to the point where I had to decide if it was something that I wanted to really dwell in anymore. It was starting to like really chip at me. And so also I was working like 55 hours a week. So I really wanted something where I could be home, tending to my home, being present with my husband. And so I started looking for something that I could do part-time. And then I came across Craig's ad. And like I said the other day, the rest is kind of history.
Imagine that Craig's list ad worked. I mean, I don't know the guy on Craig's list. I mean, holy moly.
It's definitely his list, that's for sure. He overtook it. So, but
so
yeah.
Your first month, right?
Yep.
Never been in insurance, never been in outside sales.
No.
And you just dived in with faith and the leads. And tell us a little about, what kind of leads you're buying and how much production you put up your first 30 days, what you net placed.
So I had an SLO, so I had some A leads, and then I supplemented with some B2 leads. And I believe my net place number was a little over 17,000 after some chargebacks and stuff. And that's what got me my bonus of $6,300. And it actually just came in the mail yesterday. I opened it on.
Show it, baby. Let's see. Come on. And for those of you that are new, we're talking about the slingshot bonus. Look at that.
I opened it on camera with my team. It was a really, really good feeling. I was talking to my mentor, Craig, about how much I'm just learning about myself. Danny Young says that the first year you learn about yourself and the second year you learn about insurance. And so I'm finding that to be very, very true. I'm learning a lot about myself and my relationship with the Lord and my relationship with failure. I've talked a lot about, one of the reasons why I jumped into Symmetry is because I really wanted to change the way I saw failure, my relationship with failure. I wanted to give myself permission for once to actually fail and be okay at the end of it. And I think just diving into that and chasing after it, I wouldn't say I was chasing after failure, but I was chasing growth, and success just kind of came with it. And I'm just learning a lot about myself.
That's great. That's great. You're sticking to the core values. You're focusing on a lead is a lead is a lead, and you're just investing in the leads. You're getting that ROI, return on investment. You're also getting that ROT, the return on your time, and the ROO, the return on opportunity, like the slingshot bonus and the s'more bonus. I think we're probably going to be talking about that in the next couple weeks, months. So why it's there, you want to get out there and grab it. And not only, Sierra, did you do a great job in January, you were also top app count for the entire Kimbrell Master Agency, if I'm not mistaken, in the month of February. You wrote, what, 28 or 29 apps?
28. Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
And it's crazy because, they say that like you can, in one day, you can take care of your month. Because like the first couple weeks of February were really good for me. I wrote a lot of apps. And then the last couple weeks of February was really kind of slow. And I was talking the other day about, when you're in the valley, when you're struggling and when business is drying up and you're wondering, when it's going to come around the corner and you're going to see those good results again, it can be easy to like allow intrusive thoughts in. And so I'm just having to learn a lot about planting my feet and praising the Lord, regardless of what my circumstances look like. And it's just been a really beautiful experience for me. Symmetry has given me a lot in just a very short time. And that's not even monetary, it's just the growth that I've seen in myself.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing, because that, relentless pursuit of personal growth, massive action, constant correction. And you are like the embodiment and personification of a new agent you came in from an ad, you're getting the training, you're following the system. And I'm sure, building's in your future as well, because you're doing well on the production side. We're going to start cranking up the recruiting and training side. And Sierra, we're really proud of you and congratulations. And thank you for sharing with us this morning. Take a copy of that check, deposit it, and pin the copy on the wall. Well
I
done.
got it. I got you. I'm there.
Thank you so much. All right. So next, Todd and Brian, when you guys had asked me to, connect with people. So we got some obviously top producers and new agency owners. And it's really surreal to think that leg is 6 agency owners deep. So they started taking a look at our base shop and who's the next batter up for a very well laid out width and depth and also producing. And that would be Miss Melanie Fisher over here. Melanie, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about your story. And you're new to insurance and completely different career, and you're a single mom, couple children, and quite the journey.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. Yeah, single mom. My background's in entrepreneurship and graphic and web design. So when I was introduced to the Quility world, it was definitely a unique experience in Costa Rica. And before I joined or anything, I met a lot of you guys. And what was more important than money was the culture. And so when I saw that this is actually a nourishing culture that supports personal growth and self-development, I was all in. And I couldn't be happier to apply my skills and ability, not only in producing, but creating my own agency. I think right away I wanted to just document everything I was learning so I could teach my team with videos and graphics, and that way I could duplicate myself. And yep, you'll see my symmetry backgrounds everywhere.
Yeah, I think you've made about 40 of them, something like that,
Yeah.
and just giving them away to letting people use them, and that's great. And
Yeah.
so as you came into this, and you got to look behind the curtain a little bit and come on the trip, and I think what's really important, that I just want for the record, obviously Melanie and I are dating, we're together, but she has earned this all on her own steam, on her own dime, investing in her own leads, building her own recruits, building her own team. But there's been some struggle along the journey. Talk a little about that and where you're at in your production and where you're at in your building. And we're just really grateful that Brandon and Casey have got this event coming up in Nashville. And that the fact that they threw out that challenge, all right, hey, if you hit 1 month of key leader, you get to come to the leadership event. And Brandon and Casey, you know what? We have 4 new people because you threw that challenge out there. 4 leaders in our agency picked it up and hit it. At least 1 month of key leader and are coming to Asheville. So talk to us about your journey on that.
Oh, yeah. So I'm brand new to the industry. I'm not a big numbers person. Again, I'm a creative. I love to create beauty and graphics and, digital systems that can be duplicated, right? So it was hard for me to wrap my head around the different types of insurance, and I still count and do math on my fingers. So it definitely wasn't a strength of mine, but I'm really good at pattern recognition. And so what I started to notice, especially observing Darin and coaching other agents, was there's some very clear breakthroughs that people have to get through. And so, setting so many appointments, getting good at that initial phone call, and then getting them to show up. That's a big deal. Getting them not just to think about it, but to actually submit the application. I mean, there's some very clear breakthroughs that everybody has to go through, and myself included. And I was definitely out of my comfort zone, probably cried many times to Darin saying, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I'm bad at it. All I want to do is make things pretty. I want to work on the website, and all that. So I'm applying all those skills to the PacWest agency, which is great. But I really wanted to be good at producing because in my heart, I know how important it is to serve our clients and to serve our agents. So I knew I'd be the best leader if I knew how to do this. So yeah, I went all in, and I'm through the breakthroughs. I'm actually a pretty good producer now, getting better. I really do love team building, and shout out to Janet and Monica on my team and others. Just so excited.
That's great. So let's talk a little about as you came into this, a completely new world, and the idea of how come those leads cost so much versus the idea of that flipping that little entrepreneur switch, because you've been a successful entrepreneur for a decade plus. And realizing I'm just investing in leads and I'm looking for that return and that little mental switch. And then as you started to build team and recruit, and again, it was like we talked about at the top, it was so hard to narrow it down to only 4 people and in 6 minutes each. But tell us a little about that journey. And like, for example, you had a $60-something A lead the other day, and it was over $6,000 in premium in one deal. And just what that's like for you and getting over those fears of investing and just surrendering to the system and taking action.
Yeah, I think to get going, it does cost some money and some startup, but yeah, that wasn't new for me, being an entrepreneur. It's just really beautiful to see the money start to pop into my bank account, even like $7, these little overrides. It all starts to add up, and I'm just in the beginning of the journey. So to have money coming into my account instead of out is very exciting. Yeah, and we're business owners. So of course there's, some investment that we have to do. It's pretty easy to get over that when you're competent at this career. It's hard at first, but it's totally worth it. You'll break through, and yeah, you'll certainly be putting a lot more in your bank account than what's coming out. So,
Yeah.
and I do love the leads. I did go through that phase of the journey where I'm like, oh, maybe it's the leads suck, or, but no, it's really, I just had to get better.
Yep.
So, and these families, they need us. I think that's the beauty of this. Like, these families really need us. And it was neat to hear Nathan, talk about his faith. One of the ways I connect to the divine is through symbols. And what I was seeing is the infinity symbol. So when I'm of service to others, it always comes back to me in this beautiful loop. So that's how I see it. And I also love the saying, fear and service do not coexist. And I was feeling fear calling the clients because I didn't feel like I was good enough, at insurance, but I want to be of service. So I had to overcome those fears.
That's wonderful. I appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that. And throughout the journey, the last year and a half since you got your license, the thing that I've constantly encouraged you with is you're not good at it yet. And the only way to get good, and in fact, I was just on Melissa Weagle's Base Shop call a couple of weeks ago, and I talked to Jacob Pogue about this morning. He goes, "Oh yeah, share that, Darin." I'm like, "Okay, so here we go. There is no super secret Edward Pritchett video that we're hiding from you that will make you a killer on the phone. It doesn't exist. The magic is in you. You have to do the work. You have to go through the growth. You have to invest the money. You simply have to choose." And, Melanie, I'm obviously very joyful about you choosing to jump into this career with us. And she's building her own agency. And so last month she had 5 writers, net placed 27,000. So getting close, inching up on that agency owner numbers. And don't be surprised if you see her, all these people's names move up to agency owner and agency director on up. And we appreciate you sharing a little bit this morning with us, Melanie and Craig and Nathan and Sierra. And the next minute that I have to wrap up here, I just want to encourage all of you to accept and embrace the process. Accept up front that there's going to be some struggle. Accept up front, some people are going to hang up the phone on you. It's simply a mathematical equation. So when you understand the math and the data set that drives success here, you can flip off the emotional triggers. So go through life, you can choose to be a thermometer. What does a thermometer do? It reacts to the environment. When it's hot, it's hot. When it's not, it's not. That's no way to live life, building a symmetry business. So why don't you flip that and become a thermostat? Now think about what a thermostat does. It regulates, controls, and sets the temperature. That's what you need to do. So if you embrace the struggle, accept it up front, and then just be happy and go do the work, I'm telling you, this business can change your life. All of us that we're on today are living proof of that. We're simply products of a process and a system. If you follow that system, that process, plug in, stay plugged in, and focus on the activity, revenue generating activities, calling for clients and calling working recruits, your success is imminent. It's up to you to go do that. So Todd, Brian, on behalf of our agency, we really want to thank you for selecting us today. We feel like we've poured some great stuff out there. Let me just hand it back to you, Todd, Brian, and again, thank you so much for having us on.
Fantastic job. I love just how vulnerable the team is, how true and authentic. I continue to talk about my favorite thing about this company is the authenticity of our leaders. And you see that on display right there with Darin and his team, and just really appreciate the knowledge that you share, but more importantly, the heart in which you care about the company and the way that you put that above everything else. So grateful for you all. Great job, everybody.
Absolutely.
B-dubs.
Yes, sir.
How's my office feeling over there?
I'm setting up a couple Easter eggs for you in here for when you get back. It's doing just fine. I wish I had the foresight to get a Michigan sign for you here, but we'll have to stick with this. But other than that, you might have a few surprises when you get back.
Nice.
Yeah, looking good.
Brandon,
Yes, sir.
I don't want you to worry. I used Casey's loofah this morning in my tub at your lake house.
Good.
That's like TMI for me, bro. Just want you to know.
That doesn't make me worried at all. I love that.
Casey just logged on in time to miss that. We'll probably leave him in the mystery box then.
The pink one, right?
What I
I
missed.
think one.
Oh, nothing. Just Spivey using your loofah sponge. Nothing made.
I saw that.
Man, so fortunate, so blessed, guys. Anybody out there that's reached out to me the last couple of days, I've been a little slow to get back to you. Out enjoying some spring break. Kids are out this week, and we're down here at the Symmetry Lake House and getting to enjoy the outdoors, doing some paddle boarding, playing some pickleball, and just so grateful to be here and get to see this and spend this time with my kids. So we got a good one lined up today.
Yeah, we do. I see him on here. B Delaney.
The B Delaney.
The
Extraordinaire.
What you Brian, give us a snippet preview. What you got in store for us today, buddy?
We're delivering all the new stuff. Yeah, we're changing everything right now. We're it's amazing how the message stays the same. The messengers change, and this business is so much about what you guys taught us early on and the different wrinkles that we've added to it over time in order to be able to be more effective with people and more efficient with processes. We're going to be talking about that, just talking to winners. I love the fact that I get to interview people I admire on a regular basis in my life. And these folks who I have on with me, I admire exceptionally, not only for their work ethic, but the character that they put behind what they do. And their just continual pursuit of not only making themselves better, but doing that to make the people around them better. So I'm fired up. I'm excited not only to be here with this company, but also to have such great people around me.
Love it, man. Yeah, we were able to have our hobnobbing yesterday and got to meet and speak with Hannah Grace and Monica Jaramillo. It was great. I understand why you were excited. Also seeing the numbers, seeing Rob's numbers as well. So a lot to be excited about, buddy.
Love it.
Brian's been high and talking about Rob for quite some time, and the way he continually shows up and has worked extremely hard to continue to develop himself as a leader. And Rob's just an individual. I look forward to hearing from him as well. He's become somebody I truly admire. So you want to jump in the leaderboards, Brandon, or do you want to go to the video first?
Nope. Let's jump in the leaderboards. Casey and I unfortunately have a 1:30 that we've got to do. So we're going to hit through these and then we'll hit the video break. Thank you. I got some hot tea here to get me going.
Boom. You feeling better, buddy?
Get that all-star cast there. Love it.
Look at all these folks.